Hey everybody, this is David, and today I am going to be talking about Dumb and Dumber 2. So, for those of you that don't know, that never seen my first Dumb and Dumber review that I did maybe 2 months ago, a little rundown on what I thought of that one. I love the original Dumb and Dumber. I think it's one of my all-time favorite comedies, and definitely one of my all-time favorite Jim Carrey movies. And, yeah, I love it, man. There's, there's nothing I cannot say that everyone else has not said about it before. It's one of the greats. And definitely one of the strong points is Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels. So just like everybody else, the new Dumb and Dumber movie, I was kind of worried about it because the trailers didn't really impress me. I thought, yeah, I guess it looks okay. And I was really hoping that this movie was going to be good. So, what did I think of it? Let's start with the two most important characters for this movie. Jeff Daniels and Jim Carrey return as Harry and Lloyd. And yes, they are awesome in it. They still have the magic together. Their chemistry is just as good as it was back then. It's as if they never stopped playing these characters. It's amazing. Something that I really enjoyed about this movie is I heard another critic point this out. And he said, something that was really good about this is that they didn't point out the fact too much that they were older now. They just, as if this was a sequel, a regular sequel, they just played their characters, not referencing too much that they're older and, stupider now or whatever. I did feel that they felt a little bit more dumber, I think, in this movie than they were in the last movie there. But there are so many great moments in this movie with the two of them, either together or individually, that I don't think you'll be heavily disappointed. You might be a little bit disappointed with some scenes, but for the most part, these guys, if you're going back to see this movie, it's definitely for these two and nothing else, because these two are what made the original so good. The story, I don't think you have to worry too much. Even the first Dumb and Dumber movie wasn't really about the story. Let's face it. It was about the two dumbasses, Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels. And you love it for that. So the story, I'm going to admit, is weak. Actually, this one is probably even weaker because it's really just a cut and paste job of the first film. There's no change to the story. And they don't really make fun of that. It's just there's changes to it, sort of, but the basic idea, the basic plot outline about two guys going on a road trip to find a girl, that it's the same as the first movie. With a few minor changes or updates or whatever here and there. Instead of looking for the girl that Jim Carrey's in love with, it's Jeff Daniels' daughter. So, yeah, the plot weak. Speaking of the daughter, I wasn't a huge fan of the character. I thought, I wasn't expecting to be a fan of the character. And you're not supposed, it's Jeff Daniels in Jim Carrey's movie. So I was expecting at least the daughter to be interesting, sort of, especially since it was the daughter. And here's the thing. They tried giving her the dumb aspect also, that she wasn't too bright either. But to me, I felt it didn't work. And I've been hearing a lot of other people have been having that same problem, that they didn't feel the daughter worked. She wasn't that funny. Yeah, I didn't laugh at one thing that she did or said, or if I did, it was probably a very little chuckle, and that was about it. For the most part, I noticed that what made the first Dumb and Dumber work was Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels and the people reacting to them at how stupid they were. And I felt by adding this new component, this new daughter, I felt when they tried to make the daughter funny, it just wasn't working for me. And I felt that it probably would have been better if she was actually the sane one. But you don't have to worry too much though, because she's not really too much in the film. She like pops up in the beginning for a little bit, and then she only comes back for the last maybe 30 minutes, the last half hour. I would think, I would, if I were to estimate, I felt it was like half hour. It could have been the last 40 minutes, but whatever. Yeah, she doesn't take too much away from the movie, but yeah, when they try making her funny, it just, the jokes fall flat. The bad guys in this movie were, again, just like the plot from the last movie, these guys are schemers and they're trying to get a money scheme going. And the plot for the villain, their plan to get money, it's very cliche because they're planning on, it's one of those where the woman is getting married to the father and she's trying to kill the father to get his money because the father's rich, you know, and but even though she has a boyfriend in the background who's pretending to be like a friend to them, you know, but in reality the woman who's the bad guy is like having an affair with him the entire time, even before she probably even met the old man. So it's one of those bad guy plots, and nothing really much to say there except when they interact with Jim Carrey, Jeff Daniels, you're gonna get some good laughs, especially on the road trip stuff. There's a lot of good moments. For me, really, when I look at this whole film, the final act is really where the movie kind of falls apart. There's a few jokes here and there that are pretty good, but I feel like the beginning and the middle, the first two acts, is where it's really funny to me. I think there's a lot of jokes spread out throughout the film that are really funny. I laughed pretty hard on some of them. I laughed, you know, here and there. You know, they were scattered all over the place really well. And then the final act comes when they get to the convention where the daughter's at. And that to me is where it starts to lose a little bit of steam. And, but that's just me, you know, I felt that way. I don't think it was horrible, but it's like where you're wondering to yourself, oh man, when are they going to do something funny? Come on, guys, let's get going. You guys had a good track record and now you're falling apart. But for the most part, it's still an entertaining film. I still enjoyed it. So, what am I going to give this movie? I am going to give this a 7 out of 10. I don't think it was as good as the first Dumb and Dumber film, but I feel like there's a lot there that is to be enjoyed. Definitely, if you're a fan of the original, you gotta go see this movie. It's a fun throwback to the original. And, you know, again, like I said, the first two acts especially are really good. The final act, even though it starts to lose steam, there's still some good stuff there that people will enjoy, I think. Because that's when they're starting to wrap up the film. So, the daughter, like I said, doesn't really ruin it for me. But she doesn't really add anything either. She's just there and she's kind of... a little annoying, I guess. Not too badly, but a little bit. So yeah, guys, I'd say go check this movie out. It's definitely worth it. 7 out of 10 ain't bad. Think about that. And who knows, you might have your own opinion. Some of you might like it even more than me. Some of you might like it less than me. But I'd say if you're a fan of the original, go check it out. It's worth it, believe me. So guys, until next time, later.